Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today I am back with another speed build using the new Lovestruck Expansion Pack, and we're going to be creating a house for a matchmaker. There's a new career type in this new pack, which is that you can be a romance consultant, and there's a couple of different branches, and one of them is a matchmaker, so I thought it'd be fun to create a home for a sim with that career. I wasn't really sure what style I was going for at first, so you're going to see this build evolve over time. At some point in time, it is hot pink. I don't keep it that way, but it does end up being a very colorful build, and I had a blast decorating the interior of this, and I'm excited for you to see it. It ends up just being a 1-bedroom, 2-bathroom house, but there's also a separate office as well as a garage space, and I also have a lot of items from the paranormal stuff pack in here because I was thinking this sim might use some paranormal elements to aid them in their matchmaking. I thought that was a fun twist, and I really like how the items combined in this build. But before we get any further into it, I did want to take a moment to say thank you to today's sponsor. So thank you to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit, and I've been working with them over the last few years, and I genuinely enjoy it. I've never really been much of a cook, but HelloFresh makes it easy with pre-portioned ingredients and easy to follow directions. My partner and I have made so many meals over the years, but one of my favorites has got to be the spicy Tex-Mex cheesy chicken wraps. They are super quick to make, only taking about 15 minutes, and they're so good. And it's really nice not having to plan meals or stare blankly at the fridge wondering what to make for dinner, as HelloFresh has more than 50 recipes to choose from each week, and when you try HelloFresh now, you'll get free appetizers for life. So skip the grocery store and just choose your recipes and select a delivery date, and HelloFresh does the rest. Click my link in the description or use the code on screen now to receive 10 free meals and free appetizers for life. 1 appetizer item per box while subscription is active. Thank you so much to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to it. So you can see the hot pink now. I was kind of going for an L shape for the house at first, and I was thinking everything was going to be flat roofs, but I also experimented with adding a couple of these pitched roofs and some curtains and some signage outside, and I do end up scrapping a lot of that. But since it was part of the process of the build, I decided to keep it in. Maybe it's relatable that it takes a while to get to the final product. And this actually ends up being a 2-story home. At first, I was thinking it was going to be smaller, but it ended up working a lot better being a taller house since all of the surrounding areas have like townhouses on them, which I did start a townhouse build in this world like last week when I had the super early access to the pack, and I'm hoping to finish that at some point. I'm thinking I'm actually going to turn them into apartments. And I also really want to do some custom apartment builds sometime soon now that we can have residential rentals on penthouse lots. I think that could be fun. And of course, a penthouse in this new world as well. I did start one when I first got access to the pack, but I'm not happy with how it's come out. So I'm not sure if that one's ever going to, be posted or not, or if I'm going to start over with a new one. But it is something I am excited to work on at some point because it's really cool to have some more penthouses. Although I would have preferred if they were actually apartments in like the way that we got apartments with City Living and with Evergreen Harbor, or Eco Lifestyle. I don't know why sometimes I say the words of the world instead of the name of the pack. But anyway, the shape of this has pretty much come together now. I am going to be changing the swatches though. It doesn't stay this like creamy beige color. I guess it's kind of like a creamsicle orange. It actually ends up being pink and green, which is not a color scheme I think I've ever used on the exterior of a build. But the wallpapers we got with this pack are so vibrant and fun, and a lot of the buildings around here have those colors as well. This world of Ciudad and Enamorada is based on Mexico City, and I just love all of the new color that was added to the game with this. So I'm really excited for you to see how the exterior of this came out, but also the inside. I had a blast, as you can imagine, since I used a lot of the paranormal stuff pack. And there's a lot of color in there. It was just really fun to add all of that. But we're still working on the exterior. I get this little divider by the front door for a pop of color. I also used this sign from my wedding stories to be kind of like matchmaker services or something like that. There's also a pretty bush of pink flowers, and I put some pink flowers by the front door as well, and lots of palm trees. And then I was just trying to figure out what other plants to put out here. I ended up putting, I think, some like aloe vera plants or some other kind of succulent. I went back and forth between a few different ones, and then I am grabbing some more of these planters to put on the outside of the windows, some more window boxes. These are new with the Lovestruck Expansion Pack as well. And I'm really happy to have a new one in the game because we only have a few and it always feels like we're limited and I'm using the same ones. I feel like I use the base game one the most often and probably the one from Discover University. So it's nice to have another one that has some fun swatches, but also some simple swatches as well. I also did decide to add a car in the driveway. I am going to switch the color in a little while though, because I feel like it kind of clashes with the colors I decided to paint this house, which I'm experimenting with now to get the fun green and pink that I end off on. And it just looks so nice, especially with the red roof. It's nothing like I've done before, and I think it'd be really fun to do some more colorful builds like this. So if you have any ideas, do let me know. The townhouses I started are also very colorful, so I do have that in the works. But other than that, I haven't done anything too overly colorful. I feel like the things that I've leaned towards in this pack so far have been like tacky romantic, like animal print, blacks and reds, and it's been fun, but there's so many different ways to go in this pack because I feel like there's a lot of different styles and it could be viewed negatively. I've heard some people not too happy with that because it feels like there's not enough of any particular style, and I would agree with that when it comes to this going with just base game. But since I have access to all the packs now, I actually really enjoy having the variety, so I can pair it with a bunch of different things from various packs. Like the awnings that I put on the front of this house are actually from Jungle Adventure, as is the roof texture I ended up using here, and I think it works beautifully in this world, so I was pretty pleased with that. But we're just adding some flower boxes to the back of the house, and then I should be fencing in a backyard, which towards the end of the build I'm going to work on, and we end up having a pool back here. And I use the new rounded pool tool, which is really cool. That all rhymed a little bit more than I was intending it for it to, but I am very excited to finally have rounded pools in the game. I feel like that's just been such a long time coming, and I am excited to experiment with them a little bit more. I actually built something right before this pack came out, before this update came out, with an above ground pool, and it's not round because we didn't have the round pool tool yet. And that hasn't been posted on the channel yet. I think it's going to be in the next couple of days because I just finished it right before I was able to post content with Lovestruck, so I didn't post it yet, but be on the lookouts for that as well. And I'll probably be doing a lot more above ground pools and pools in general because you can just have such like interesting shapes with them. I'm not sure if we can quite do the like bean shaped pool that's really popular in mid-century houses, but we can definitely do something rounded. But here I am inside now. We just finished the floor plan and I am picking out the wooden flooring, and you can kind of see the idea of some of the colors I want to use in here by the couch that I placed down. I don't end up keeping it in that swatch, but the inside still ends up being very, very colorful. I'm pretty sure I end up with a pink swatch on that one, but it goes through a couple of different variations before I get there because for a while I was like, okay, I know I want all of these fun colors. I just got to figure out how to make them work, and it felt like everything was clashing. So I did have to, mess around with it for a while, but we get there in the end. I also really wanted to use this table and chairs from base game. We got these a couple of years ago as an update to the game, and I don't remember exactly when it was, but these are Mexican inspired as well, so I thought it would be perfect for this build, and I also really enjoy the new beaded curtains that came with Lovestruck. And then I am just grabbing the rug from the pack as well, and we're gonna slowly figure out how this is all going to come together. I did move the sink over onto the island piece. Technically, it's not an island counter, but it looks like it because of how I have it placed. And then I changed out the staircase for a wooden one instead. At first, I was going to use one of the tiled staircases that came with the pack, but it felt like it wasn't really working with the floor that I chose. So I ended up going with this one, which is from Growing Together, or not Growing Together, Get Together. I get those two names confused now since they are so incredibly similar. And this is where I start changing the swatch of the couch and trying a few different things. I really wanted to make this one work because I think it is so fun, but it ends up being the more pastel pink swatch in the end. And of course, I'm getting some of the new clutter from the new pack. So we have these beautiful candles as well as these books with the marble heart bookends. And I get this little like photo frame from Paranormal. And of course, the couch is from there, as is this collage of paintings that I'm adding on the wall behind. I also considered using the coffee table from Paranormal, but it didn't really feel like it fit, so I did end up swapping that out, and I'm adding a seance table in the front of the house as well. And you can see I'm just really experimenting with colors here. All of the walls are changing colors so many different times, as is the carpet and the couch, and we get there in the end. It just took me a little while, but this is the swatch we land on. It matches perfectly with the rug, and I did end up using the new coffee table from Lovestruck as well. And I tied in the pink a few other places by adding some pink flowers, and we're gonna kind of hop back and forth decorating the various rooms. So back into the kitchen now, and we're getting a range hood up above the stove. The counters, the stove, the fridge, all of that is from Jungle Adventure, but the sink and the range hood are from Home Chef Hustle. And then I'm just decorating the counters. I got this really cute base game cactus, and we got a new fruit bowl with the pack as well, so I placed that up here. And I loved how perfectly the apron hooks fit on the squares of the door there, so I thought that that was a great spot to put that, as well as to bring in some more pink into the kitchen, which was kind of overly a bluish teal. So I also added some paintings here leaning against the counters, and then we are reapplying these same curtains that I had before, but I took away because I was changing my mind about the whole color scheme, and I did end up still using these chairs in a different swatch, but I changed out the table and used this one, which came from For Rent, to have a smaller table in the space, which I think worked so much better. And then I'm just trying to figure out what I want to put on the wall over here. I tried a couple of these wall sconces from Paranormal, and these do appear a few times throughout this house. I just don't have them placed the way they are right now. I end up actually having one of the pieces of artwork from the new pack over here of this couple dancing, which I think is so pretty, and I use the lip artwork up above where I'm going to be putting the TV as well. I think this piece is so pretty and flirty, and I felt like it was perfect for a romance consultant or matchmaker house, because you probably have Sims coming here because I was imagining the Sim worked from home, and you can either consult them in the office, or maybe you're going to be at the seance table and like looking into the crystal ball. I think that could be so fun. So that was kind of the idea behind it, and it feels just like fun and vibrant in the interior, and I felt like that was just perfect for the Sim I had in mind. But this is going to be that office space. I did use the new floral wallpaper that we got with Lovestruck. I love this one so incredibly much, and I think the colors in here just look so nice with the like purples, pinks, and reds. And I got to use this piece of artwork. I'm going to move it so it's not over the desk. It's going to be on the other wall, but it is this really intricate framed portrait of this Sim with a snake. And it has a really fancy frame, but it also has like an LED strip around it, which I really enjoy. Or like a neon light. It's really cool. And then I, of course, got all of our qualifications up above the desk and a plant as well. We have a nice chair in the corner, some space to take notes, and I got a little console table under the window over here and put a record player on it with a couple of other decorations, primarily this little flower vase that came with Lovestruck. And you can get a better view of that painting now. It is so cool. I also got a bookcase in here, so it's a pretty simple room, and I thought that this painting from base game also was perfect because it's a painting of a Sim riding a rocket ship, and if you look at it, your Sims get flirty. And that's been in the base game since day one, so of course it had to go into our romance consultant's office. But anyway, this is the downstairs bathroom. Both bathrooms look pretty similar, but I didn't record the other one because it was so similar. But in the screenshots at the end, you'll be able to see both bathrooms. But yeah, just adding some storage in here using this little organizer from Seasons. And then I got this really pretty painting in here and a couple of bathrobes, as well as a little like shower mat when you step out. That room is primarily blue, but it has a little bit of pink in it. But we are moving upstairs now into the only bedroom in this house. It's actually a really big bedroom. You could probably split this into two and have two different rooms up here, but for the idea I had in mind, I only really wanted it to be one bedroom, so it's just a really spacious one. And it's quite romantic in here with the vibrating heart bed, a lip sofa, the costume chest, so your Sims can go ahead and try on some of the new outfits. Maybe just not the catfish one, but I don't know, the eggplant, the peach, the like sexy maid, like you have lots of options. Those are just a couple of them though. I don't remember them all offhand, but I think that's a fun addition the game added, and it's a little inappropriate. I was actually pretty pleased that The Sims 4 has started adding some more risque things like that, because like previous games were so much more in that realm. I believe, was it The Sims 1 or The Sims 2 that when you got engaged, you could throw a party and there would be strippers jumping out of a cake. That is very much not the way The Sims 4 is, but it's good to have some elements like that added back into the game. I think it's really fun, and I know it's not going to be everyone's cup of tea, but it's cool to have the options. Anyway, this is the upstairs hallway. I just have some paintings on the wall, a bookcase, and a couple of places to sit. And then we are moving on to the backyard where we are going to finally use the round pool tool and create our lovely, big, rounded, kind of like oval shaped pool. The rounded pools work the same way as rounded walls and foundations and everything do, where we have these sort of like rounded corners, and you can place those down and connect them with other parts of a pool. So exactly how you would expect them to work in The Sims 4, and I'm pretty pleased with that. I think they're pretty easy to use, and I think this pool ends up being really cute. There are 2 new pool trim options that came with Lovestruck, and I use one of those here, which is this like thick tiled trim, and I use it in this really pretty pastel green swatch to match the exterior of the build, and there is a matching wallpaper and flooring for that as well, so I use those inside the pool. So just finishing that up now and getting a ladder out of the pool so your Sims can easily get out of there. It looks like I didn't place that down yet, but we will be getting one, although your Sims are smart enough in The Sims 4 to not drown because there's not a pool ladder. I did want to add some more bushes in the backyard to get a little bit more greenery, so I'm just framing the pool out with that. And I do end up getting a lounger in the pool, as well as a couple of loungers outside of the pool and a grill. And the backyard's pretty simple, but I think it's nice, and it fits with all of the new things in this pack. The one thing I considered adding that I completely forgot until just now is a woohoo blanket, since we now have those blankets your Sims can woohoo in, which I still have varying opinions on, but I think that would have made sense to put in the backyard of this house since I was trying to use a lot of new stuff from the pack. So that might be something you want to add if you download this house, and if you would like to grab it, it is available right now on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag Gryphi, and that information will also be in the description down below as well. And all of my other builds that I have posted already with Lovestruck are now up on the gallery. Now that I have access to all of the packs, I was able to import my save file from the super early access and get those all uploaded. So if any of those are ones you wanted to grab, you can grab those now. And we're just finishing up our landscaping here, and then we're going to be heading on into screenshots. So I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure you give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more, and click that bell to be notified when I upload. And thank you again to HelloFresh for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you check out that link in the description, and enjoy the screenshots. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone!